So I'm going to show you, the people watching at home who have clicked this video because I want to start a reselling business in 2023 on eBay. I'm going to show you guys how to do it from the smallest little detail possible. So from the start of how to make a eBay account, selling, packaging, get it sorted, make some money. If you're like me, a family man, you just want to make an extra couple of bucks, and all of a sudden now you can quit your job if you want to and do it full time, post it on YouTube, whatever. Let's get straight into this and I'll show you how to make a business on eBay. So the first thing you guys are going to need to do is create an eBay account. How do you create an eBay account? Phone, PC, download the app, whatever, put in your email address, bank details, obviously create an account. Just go through the steps. It'll show you how to go through the steps stage by stage. I could show you what it means running upstairs and messing about. I ain't got time for that. It's so simple. Just follow the steps. Then, once you put your bank details on eBay, they will, within 7 to 10, I think mine was, I'm not 100% sure on that, but within 7 to 10 days, eBay will put a micro deposit into your bank account of like 2 or 3 pence, and then they take it straight back out again. And then what you've got to do to confirm it's your bank, you've got to then go onto your banking app, tell eBay what date they took that micro payment out. Sorry, I got a bit sore throat. Tell them what date it was and it verified your bank account. That's pretty much that. Now, if you're thinking you've got no money, how are you going to start this eBay? Because everything takes money. Like you see these Amazon sellers, these other eBay sellers, or the car guy out there thinking he's clever. You see them all putting thousands and thousands and thousands in it. You do not need no money to start selling on eBay. Here's how. So, for example, say this was my house. This is not my house. Like, this is a bad example. So, actually, right, so this actually is my house. So, for example, let's just say Lightning McQueen here. This is my son, so I'm not selling this. But for example, if you had a toy collection in your own house, you see it's your own stuff you've already purchased, you'd look at that and you think, oh, I wonder how much that's worth. Get yourself on eBay, have a look, get it listed. Find like 10 items, 20 items of things you don't need anymore. So, for example, I had that one. Then I could be like, I don't know, I don't want, say this was a Lacoste t-shirt. I don't want this Lacoste t-shirt anymore, or this Vans t-shirt. Get it listed. I could list them. There you go, pair of old Adidas sliders. Once I've wiped them up, they could get fetched 20 quid. I'll put them on note. So get old stock, as we call it. Old stock, I mean your old stuff. Sell that on eBay, get a couple of reviews on your page once you've sold it. Stuff like that. Pretty simple. So now you're thinking, so you've made the eBay account, verified your bank details on eBay. You've got stock ready to list that you don't want anymore, you know, like old toys, vice versa, whatever it may be, old footy shirts, old shoes, anything. How do you list it? So, another example. Say these were my old pair of shoes. They're not, they're loc, so they're actually worth a lot more than my old shoes. But for example, I would find a background. For me, myself, I usually move this ball out of the way. I would stick it, say, at an angle like that. I would get down and that would be the picture. Nice plain background. Then maybe go over here, take one over the top. Then obviously you want to show the soles of your shoes. You can also buy these for shoes, which is a good idea. When you start doing, don't worry about this now because you're only just making your count and then just starting selling. But when you get a little bit pro at it, you get these little things. Yeah, and you put them in a shoe and it bulks them up a little bit. So, yeah. So you'd list them, take plenty of pictures, list them. Now you're probably thinking, right, so I've got all this stuff. You've said find out how much it's worth. How I want to know how much it's worth. So that's why I'm going to use the PC for an example, because I can't use my phone because I'm obviously using it to film this. Right, so say in here you've got, I don't know, PS4 controller you want to sell. So you've got this one, for example, or this one, I don't know. Scroll down here on eBay to the bottom where it says sold items. Click it and it'll come up with what they've sold for. So one PS4 controller, they're DualShock Black, sold today on 8 bids for 21 quid. Now ignore the bids part because sometimes bids are under the amount. So for me, example, if I saw this, 21 quid on bids with £3 postage, I'd put mine up for £24.99 because bids are always, you always end up getting lower value on the bids, I would say. Or say you've got this one, Now what you can do, I can't show on here because it doesn't do it on here because I don't use the PC, I use everything on my phone. But I would, if I was selling this controller here, I would click this listing here and it would come up onto the next page, but on your phone. The listing ended, so it won't show on here, but on your phone it will show you the picture like that. And then underneath here somewhere it'll say sell similar or sell one like this. I would click that, then that whole description would come up. Because he sold this for 35 quid. And then I would just click sell similar, put my pictures on, maybe change the title a little bit, put something in the description, and then boom, you've got a listing. So now you've took your pictures, posted it, you've now got a listing. So for example, this will be me. This is my page, so these are on bids at the minute, but they're quite shit, so they're not going to sell. Doc Martin boots, 4 days left, I've got a tenner bid. Most of my stuff you'll notice is buy now prices because I can't be bothered waiting 7 days for a bid. Unless it's something like the Doc Martens, which will go through the roof. For example, I've listed this. It doesn't tell you how many watches, is it? See, on your phone it's so much better, you can see like watches and everything like that. It's got 150 views with like 50 watches on it, so that means 50 people are watching. Anyway, so then this is my listings, for example. So say this is your shop if you're watching, and I think, oh, I want that Nike t-shirt. Someone will just click buy now, they'll pay the postage, and boom, you've made your first sale. So for example, when it's sold, mine's sold on here. So these are my 4 items I've got going out today, well tomorrow, they'll be going out tomorrow. So for example, I've sold this Pikachu thing for, how much we got for it? £9.99, and that's what they paid because they have to pay the shipping. So that stop lock for 20 quid. Madagascar bundle of random toys that I picked up from a car boot for £1 in a massive bag. There was more toys than just that. That sold for a tenner. And then this thing I got for 20p sold for a £5. So for example, I just showed you them 4 items that I've sold. So then what you would do is you get your items. That's what I'm going to do now. Or pick them as I call them. And please don't think you need a massive shed like this with all this stock in it to actually make a lot of money selling on eBay, because you don't. I just got this over time. So for example, we'll just pick this. It's the cheapest sale I've had, so don't worry about it. But paid 20p at the car, but it's sold for a £5 plus the postage. I got it like a year ago at a Christmas place, so it's well worth keeping stock. Even if it doesn't sell eventually, it will, because everything does sell eventually. So what I would do with this is I would come over here, so I'm going to have to bring you on this over here. I would come over to here and I'd be like, right, it's in a decent box, but there you can see it could quite get split. So I would then get my bubble wrap, which I've ordered off eBay. You can get this when you first start out, just go to like Home Bargains or your local shop. They'll do some bubble, even the post office in the UK does bubble wrap for a couple of quid. Just get a sheet of it if you want. You might need boxes, you're going to need tape. We'll run through all that in a minute. So you might need boxes, again, no cost whatsoever. The bubble wrap's going to cost you, but boxes won't cost anything. For myself, I got my boxes from like shops. Just ask this corner shop, you got any boxes? Any food place or whatever? Most of them are just chucking them in the bin, so they'll give you a couple and they won't charge you anything, usually. So go to your corner shop and ask. So then I'll put that in there like that. 1 second. I would then get a bit of tape. As easy as that. Get like that. So now that is protected. You know these little jiffy bags again, or you can put it in a little carrier bag, whatever you want, but to make it look more professional and make people want to buy from you again, make sure it's wrapped correct, and you get better reviews. Better reviews means you get more sales. Most important thing is making that first sale. It could take. You're not gonna list something unless you're very lucky, and it's gonna sell the same day, or in a couple of days. You might be waiting 3 or 4 days, but in them 3 or 4 days, you're out getting stock, so you're getting more things to list. So you put in that like that, and then I would go to my printer upstairs, unless you bought a label printer like some people don't. And I print a label off and I put it on here, and I literally just take that to the post office. She would scan it through, give me a receipt, and that gets sent to them within like 2 to 3 days of me shipping it. So let's say, for example, you found 20 items at home, talk to your mates, I don't know, you talk to your mum, she might have had some, or your parents, whatever. and you've got like, now you've got 30 listings on eBay and you've sold 20 of them and you've made, I don't know, £100, £200, whatever you've made. Let's just round it up to a nice 150. You made £150, then cash that out of eBay with that £150. So bear in mind, you didn't spend any money so far. You made 150 quid or 100 or whatever it may be. Go to a car boot sale. If it's not seasonal, so the car boot's not there, look on Facebook Marketplace. Go on Vinted. Go on charity, well, go in charity shops. Anywhere you think you can find profit, find profit. There's always profit in everything. So for example, I could be walking around. If you've got your phone, it's perfect for it. For example, I'll walk around the car, but I don't know. I'll see these that I've picked up a while back. These Adidas high top shoes. Only size are we on? I think they're like a size 5. So you're at a car boot. How much are these, mate? I'll just give £2 for them. You know, damn straight, even without doing any research, these are worth a hell of a lot more, even secondhand, than £2. So, pay you £2, you go home, you take your picture like I showed you, you list it like I've showed you, and you sit there and wait. And then it'll sell. Or it might not sell, but it's gonna, trust me, things are gonna sell. And I promise you now as well, once something sells, and you hear that cha-ching on eBay, and you're like, oh my God, I've sold my first thing, and then the next thing goes, and the next thing goes, and you just keep doing that, and then you end up like this. Ignore this, because I just smashed that the other day, because it was minding me up. But you've got toys stacked for Christmas, you've got shoes galore, you've got clothes, teddies, drawers after drawers, after drawers of stuff and stock. You've got bubble wrap galore. And like, I'm not trying to brag, but even without making no effort whatsoever, I'm hitting over or way over £1,000 a month. And that's if I'm not doing anything. If I'm going out buying and buying and buying like I've been doing recently, I can hit upwards of 3, 4. Do you know what I mean? And that's in profit. So anybody who's watching this who's thinking about reselling, I promise you now, as a family man, as a normal day-to-day person, yeah, I've got a YouTube channel, yeah, I post it, I make some good money, whatever. I promise anybody can do this. It can be any age, you don't have to have any knowledge whatsoever. Literally, there's no knowledge needed. You don't need to, oh, I need to know what that sells for. Oh, have I picked up the right thing? Your phone will tell you everything you need to know. You can take a picture on eBay and it'll show you what it is. You can type it in, like I showed you, but you're on your phone, you'll type it in, scroll down to the bottom, click on sold items, and it'll come up sold and completed, and it'll show you what that item is sold for recently and what date it sold. So if you, like again, for example, you find these at a car boot and he wants £2 and you're not sure, and there's no one around, have a little walk away, come back after you've been on your phone, you've looked at, make a shoe up, you find the right shoe, type it in, go on solds, and these don't, but just say for example, pick these up for £2, I've looked at solds, 30 quid plus the shipping. So when I buy them, I'm going to list them for £24.99 to beat the buyer at the top and get them sold quicker. That's how I do it anyway, but you can just hold out and get the 30 quid. So you put them for £24.99 plus the postage and the sell. And then you just turn that £2 into 25 plus the post, and then after your eBay fees, I can't remember what the percentage is on eBay, but it's not like insane. It's not like, oh my God, lost all money. You'll still make 18 quid on them. Do you know what I mean? And then you say you do that 5 times. What's that? 100 quid nearly? And that's all you've got to do. Here's a mint example. Just thought of this as I was leaving the shed. So you see the price, I got that from a charity shop for a 5. Oh, and these as well. So you still got the price, I ain't listed them yet. £6. So I spent £11. 5, 6. These, because the Loke, I've obviously known from over my year of experience. So I've only been doing this, I haven't been doing this a year, what, 10 months? Yeah, so they're going to go for 40 quid, between 30 and 40 quid from 6. So what's that? Could be 34 to £24 profit. This was a £5. I scanned it up, well, I didn't scan it up, I just typed that in, which is the brand. Then obviously DVD and VHS player. Found the same one with a remote, sold for £100. I ain't got the remote. Still, other ones without the remote, 60, 70 quid. So that £5, say at low end, we get 50 quid. It's 10 times my money. I'm just getting it, taking it home, taking a picture and flogging it. Also, I've just started a free Telegram group, so there's no money involved. You don't have to pay for anything. It's all free. You just got to download the app. once you download the app, Telegram, give me a message on Instagram, or if you follow me on Instagram already, there'll be usually a link in my story every day. You follow the Telegram group, and it's all us resellers, the ones who make big money, the ones who just started. It doesn't matter who you are, you can be in the group, and we just post pictures. Oh, I sold this today, and you'll be like, oh, I sold that car boot yesterday. Or you might see a picture in there and it'd be like, sold this toy for, got it for £1, sold it for 100 quid. And you went around a car boot and someone says, oh, I want a £5 for this toy, and you've seen it in here and we've sold it for £100, you're gonna pick it up, aren't you? It's just all knowledge. So, hope this helps. I've blagged on quite a lot, so for the people who actually watch my videos for my reselling, I apologise. But I'm trying to get everyone in the game because I want people to make money. I know what it was like when I first started, of trying to find as much information as I can. So yeah, make sure you leave a like, guys, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in the next one. Telegram group as well. Peace.